Welcome back to the Texas State History Museum, site of the U.S. Senate debate tonight. We heard the candidates lay out their different approaches to immigration and asylum seekers. Here's what they had to say when we asked about them.
I believe that the keeping people out of the country during this crisis is a public health measure that we should support.
He has consistently voted against broad bipartisan immigration reform. We need to reform immigration. I do not support Remain in Mexico.
We want to bring you perspective from across the state. We're joined by our panel of reporters. Jackie Kingston is a news anchor for KAMR Local 4 in Amarillo. Sandra Sanchez is a correspondent for Nexstar's BorderReport.com. And we welcome back Gomer Jeffers from the Dallas Morning News. So you heard what the candidates had to say about immigration. Jackie, I want to start with you because this is a big topic in the Panhandle.
Absolutely. Immigration, particularly our southern border, resonates in the Panhandle because so many of our small towns in the rural communities that we have are so dependent on seasonal workers and on immigrants who are in our country to go to work and to make a better life for themselves. And so they're the backbone of our economy in many of these smaller towns where you see people who grew up there maybe leaving, going to school and not coming back. And so they've filled a void in those towns. And so we absolutely rely on those immigrants for the great things they do for our economy.
And of course, Sandra, you covering the border, this is an issue you deal with almost daily.
It is. And I just have to say, frankly, I was disappointed that both candidates did not discuss immigration more. I know that just now in the post-debate interview, MJ Hager briefly said she wished she would have discussed immigration, but I feel like at any point during the hour-long discussion, they could have pivoted to it. Senator Cornyn tried to paint her in a corner as being unsupportive of Border Patrol and law enforcement officials, and that would have been unsympathetic to them. And I felt like that would have been the perfect opportunity for her to have talked about the sympathy towards the families in South Texas or along the border that have their homes and their ranches bisected and taken apart by eminent domain for the border wall. But instead, she didn't talk about border security. With regards to the asylum seekers, I also wondered if she really understood the Migrant Protection Protocols program all that well. She spent a lot of time talking about the rights of Chinese people. You know, in the discussion earlier tonight, they discussed systemic racism. Well, that extends to low-income minority communities. I just felt like there were many opportunities that they could have talked about immigration more.
When we come back, we'll take a discussion beyond the debate. We'll look closer at some of the issues and races affecting voters in communities across the state. You're watching a special edition of State of Texas.